watch to the very last, cause guys, it doesn't really help you watching for a minute or 2 minutes. I'm seeing how you are reacting to the videos, but more information is actually in the middle of the video. And good afternoon, my people. It was good to be back in front of the camera again. Hey man, it feels like a whole month without actually being in front of my camera, but hey, since we're here, we just about to cook. So keep watching. We got a beautiful conversation, guys, because finally we are going to be talking about the life cover. Yes, I said it, the life cover. So please do share with your friends and family members, man. I mean, you can just keep these things to yourself. I give this for free, so I'd like you to also return the favor by sharing with your family members and friends, right? People that you actually deem to actually be interested. And also, if you are not familiar with us yet, please check the description below to find out where we are located and also where to find us on our social platform. So yeah, let's get into it. So today we are going to be talking about bonds. Yes, I said bonds, not James Bond, bonds as in investment vehicles. Yeah, I know hardcore dude. Yeah, so what is a bond really? Well, a bond is basically just a type of investment that offers or has a fixed interest rate on top of your borrowed capital. So this is basically a loan that somebody gives out to another person in return to get an extra for what they actually invested, right? So otherwise known as a fixed security, right? So meaning this type of investment provides a return through a fixed interest payment, right? So a popular one is basically a home loan. Yes, that mortgage bond. It's a bond for your home. That's why you pay for it for a fixed period of, say for instance, 20 years most of the time, or even 30 years. So you're going to be paying them the money that you borrowed from the bank or to say in financial institution that is qualified to give you that loan, and on top of that you're going to be paying for that capital that you borrowed and a bit of interest on that, right? So how does it really work? Well, let's say person A has an extra $2 million left after all the expenses are paid for, including taxes, right? That's basically profit and revenue, and they don't really know what to do with that money. Person B comes along and says, hey guy, I need $1 million to buy this house. This property, they undervalued it, so I want to have it by the time they realize I own it, right? That's how they actually speculate in the property market. So person A says, now, I can give you the million, yeah, I don't have a problem, but you're going to pay, say for instance, an extra $300,000 on top of that, right? And you are going to pay it according to my terms and conditions. So normally a bond has a specific structure that is outlined in a contract that is signed by both parties, where they say, okay, means the duration of the payment and the payment system itself. So by the maturity date, the bond that is actually owned now by person B, who is the borrower, is going to be paid off plus that interest, right? So most of the time, that's why you find these things go for about minimum 5 years, but normally it goes for like 10, 20, 30, or even 50 years, bro. Like it depends on how large the amount is that is borrowed and also the agreement between the two parties, right? And there are many types of bonds, right? But today I am more interested in the government bond that is actually going to be maturing this coming October on the 29th. Yes, that's 29th of October 2025. They took this bond way back in 2011. Imagine that's like 14 years. You see, that's what I'm saying. It can take whatever period that the two parties agree upon. So this is actually the Euro bond. If you haven't seen this, I last year I screenshotted it. I know I'm going to do a video on it, so I made sure that I screenshot it. And for you guys that don't like to read newspapers, this is actually the reason why you need to be updated, and this is the reason why I'm always telling people that when you actually read the newspaper, there are only two things to focus on there: the economic activity and the political activity. Hence, if you watch my old content, you will actually see that I mentioned that and I outlined that in the videos of the economic data that you need to know as a policy holder. And go check that out because it's very important, right? I don't drop information that is not relevant in terms of insurance. This one is worth 750 million US dollars, or to say 13 billion dollars in Namibian money. According to the Namibian newspaper, this was listed on the London Stock Exchange according to the article they published last year around June there, if I'm not mistaken. So the government back in 2011 now, under the leadership of President Bob Hamba, took a loan from the EU in order to fund some of its projects and operations. However, it was specified whether that included the interest or not in terms of the value of the bond now. So that means that they were given a period of 14 years, like I said, to repay the money, and according to the article, the government seems to be very confident in terms of closing the agreement, right? So now, some of these bonds can be issued locally. It's not just an international thing. Some can be issued locally where the government invites corporates and certain individuals, important individuals in the economy, to come and invest in the government for a return. This is basically just to raise capital internally, right? And yes, this is normally also again regulated by NERVISA and the policies of the BON, right? And hence, for the example that I just gave you for the mortgage, right? People can say, okay, we want to actually invest in this project, or we want to do this project, but then we don't want outside money. We just want to raise the money in our country. So most of the time, they even do this. They may even decide to say, okay, so long as we raise about 60 to 70% of the capital we need inside the country, then the rest we can actually borrow internationally. So now, what is important about this? Well, insurance was created to help safeguard some of these bonds in the event of the borrower dying, right? You go into the bank and say, I want a house for, say for instance, 2 million. I have a life cover of 10 million. Then they say, okay, in the event of you dying, now what happens? Do we have to go and chase your people from the house, or do we have to repossess their house because there's nobody else to pay for the premium, or what do we do? So they say now, okay, a life cover is what we need as collateral or security in order for us to be assured that if this person dies, then there's a chance that we will actually get our money back, plus the interest that this person was supposed to pay. That's why a life cover is often needed when a person wants to buy a house through the bank. That means the bank is the one that is going to finance the house, and then afterwards they will actually now start getting their money from the owner of the house through installments, monthly installments. That's also another way of, or to say another system of repaying their bond. This does not guarantee you security from losing your job, so that's why you need investments also to help you in the event of, say for instance, you losing your job, because that is not the bank's baby for once, and that is also not the insurance company's baby, number two. So you have to have these investments that are going on so that you can cater for that too. So when you do lose your job, then you know that, okay, at least my investments will help me in the long run while I'm actually looking for another job, right? So most of the time you have to really know these things, because at the end of the day you want to be the person that is knowledgeable and highly educated, because financial literacy is the oxygen of your life. basically just close to oxygen like this. If you do not know how to manage your finances, then you are as good as dead. And the other thing is, mind you, you need to be qualified by the bank or the institution in order for them to actually speculate against your life. They just don't accept anybody that just comes and says, "Oh, I want to buy a house," but then the banking statements show that there are so many deductions going on that this person within 5 days the money is gone. Oof, that is a risky person. So you really also have to look at your finances and see, okay, how is my finances and will the bank actually allow me to get this? So on our side, we do not qualify people. We only help them get their life cover. And also, you must understand, guys, when you have your life cover, there's so many benefits that you can actually get from that. It's not just the thing of, no, I have a life cover and then I'm covered with, say for instance, $1 million or 1.5 million. It's also a thing of, you get other extra benefits such as medical benefits in terms of your disease, disability, debility. Debility is basically just going by the person becomes paralyzed and then they are no longer able to work and somebody else has to be looking after them. So, and also the other thing is any chronic illness, they cover for that also on your life cover. That's the beauty of it. And also for accidents, in terms of now being involved in accidents, they cover for that. Also disability, they cover for that. So there are so many benefits that you can get on your life cover. And I don't know why people sometimes take out life covers and forget that they can also have their savings on there. Yes, you can have your savings there. You can have a savings account on top of your life cover, and you have to actually have that because at the end of the day, you want to be saving a little bit also. Not just a little bit, but you want to have a certain amount stored away in order for you to have security, right? So that's it for the episode, guys. This wasn't going to be a long episode. It's just us revisiting things that we already know and things that we already have been speaking about. But one thing I'm excited about is this government bond that we are actually about to pay off. That means if the government is confident enough to actually pay that amount of, then we know that our economy is actually on track and we don't have too many disturbances and our economy is actually performing quite smoothly. That's my reason to actually smile like this. So until the next episode, guys, I am going to sign out.